Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about TikTok. Yes, I know. Surprise, Optimus is making a video about TikTok, everybody. Well, actually guys, this one is positive. I know usually like when I get on here and I'm kind of talking about a situation unfolding on TikTok, I'm making fun of a stupid trend going on, or I'm calling out how people are being ridiculous or something, right? But this is an instance in which TikTok finally has done something good. And it turns out that TikTok may have saved a teenage girl's life in this instance, so I wanted to cover it because it's a genuinely crazy story. I mean, we're talking about, once again, a 16-year-old girl who had been kidnapped, who used some hand gestures that she had learned on TikTok to warn somebody that she was basically in trouble, and the police saved her life by pulling the guy over. And he actually turned out to be a pretty crazy, psychotic guy who genuinely deserved to be in jail. So we're gonna go ahead and break this whole situation down and talk about it here. But before I get into the video, I do want to remind you guys entirely that I am raising money for Team C's. Throughout the last year or so, I've been doing charity for every single video, and all of my videos for the rest of 2021 will be raising money for Team C's, which is aiming to remove 30 million pounds of garbage from the world's oceans. So if you do have a couple spare dollars you'd love to donate, man, I'd love to see you guys racking up that Team C's money across all of my videos for the rest of the year. With that being said, let's go ahead and continue with today's video. A missing 16-year-old girl was rescued after using TikTok hand signals to warn a motorist that she was in distress, police say. Police in Kentucky say that they pulled over and arrested James Brick after someone in the car behind his truck recognized the hand gestures and called 911. Mr. Brick, 61, was charged with unlawful imprisonment after being stopped in Laurel County, Kentucky with the missing youngster in his back seat. Okay, so obviously should not have been happening. Guy is 61 years old, she is 16, so it's kidnapping and it's also disgusting to think about. So I also want to point out this motherfucker's name is Mr. Brick. Like, what are you, a Lego character, dog? Like, what's going on here, man? So apparently this 16-year-old girl was using some sort of hand gesture to alert a motorist, aka another car around their car, that they were in trouble, that the 16-year-old girl was in trouble and needed help. It turns out that there's been kind of like this, I don't know if I want to call it a trend, there's been this hand gesture that's been going viral on TikTok recently that teaches people who are in, you know, questionable situations like this that need help, how to call for help to other people without making a ruckus. Obviously, if you're being fucking kidnapped, you can't be leaning out the window screaming to help you and waving your arms. That's just not gonna work. So the hand signal, the best way that I can explain it is to take your palm with your thumb, place it in the center of your palm, and then take all four of your fingers and fold them down over to quote-unquote trap your thumb, making almost like a fist with your thumb inside of it. This hand signal is being used to express this kind of danger to other people very silently, very efficiently, and of course, given the fact that TikTok is one of the biggest social medias on the planet at this point, after doing this for however long, somebody finally recognized what was going on and called 911. That is pretty goddamn incredible, you have to say. I mean, the fact that out of everybody on the road, somebody finally recognized what was going on and was able to potentially save this girl's life is incredible. I mean, this is a genuinely shocking and awesome story because the unfortunate truth is when you look into child abduction, it is goddamn gruesome, man. It's so sad. So, for instance, about 3/4 of the time when a missing child's homicide case has been studied, the child was actually killed within 3 hours of being abducted. And it turns out that this guy was actually traveling for quite a long distance, so it's actually very good news. I mean, that this kid was able to be saved. We really got to kind of thank TikTok for this one, because had it not been for the TikTok algorithm, there is a very unfortunate possibility that someone might have been losing their 16-year-old daughter. So during the investigation, deputies say they also located a phone in Mr. Brick's possession that allegedly portrayed a juvenile female in a sexual manner, and he was also charged with possession of matter sex performance by a minor over the age of 12, but under age 18. The Laurel County Sheriff's Department confirmed that the teenager had used the gestures which had been posted on TikTok and other social media platforms that, quote, represent violence at home, I need help, domestic violence. Officials say that the teenager had been reported missing by her parents in Asheville, North Carolina last week. I went online to, I guess, measure the time that it would take to get between Laurel County, Kentucky and Asheville, North Carolina. That is about a 3.5 hour drive during optimal traffic conditions. meaning that this girl was about 4 hours away from home. So with this whole situation here, you also have to consider now that they've gone through his phone and whatnot, and they've seen this, okay? They have seen a child, a female child at that, performing a very sexual act or whatever on the phone, which means this guy basically had CP. Let's call it as what it is here. It was fucking disgusting, and the guy deserved to be in jail in the first place. And thankfully, this young woman using TikTok, being able to figure out these hand gestures and whatnot, was able to potentially save many more victims. And that's the really good thing about this situation, is that unfortunately it appears that there's at least another victim, because the article, interestingly, does not state that the girl found in the video or whatever was actually the girl who was kidnapped. So there might be other victims in this whole situation, right? At least one other, and that's unfortunate to think about too, but at least this guy is actually finally off the streets and is going to go to jail. You have to think, there could have been so many more victims, right? Like, what was his real intentions? Nobody actually knows here. But if he was willing to go as far as he did, I'm pretty certain, and I think you guys will probably agree with me on this one, that he was willing to do this again and again and again. Okay, this guy was a legitimate menace to society, a legitimate threat. This was the best possible outcome for this guy to get caught, because, like I said, you know, you never really know what this guy could have done. I mean, had she not known these hand gestures, he could have gotten her somewhere, he could have killed her, he could have abused her and assaulted her, he could have done so many horrible things that potentially now were prevented from happening because of this entire thing. So, according to the teenager, she had traveled with Brick through North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ohio, the sheriff's department said in a statement. He is being held in the Laurel County Correctional Center. The department did not share what sign that the teen used, but advocates have encouraged people in distress to use hand signals to discreetly ask for help. The Canadian Women's Foundation has said that a universal signal for help can be made by facing the palm of one hand forward with the thumb tucked in and the other fingers closed over it to trap it. The foundation says the signal does not mean people must call the police, but it is an indication to, quote, reach out to me safely. People in distress have been encouraged to use the hand signal when they cannot speak openly about a dangerous situation that they may be in. Quote, the signal of help is a tool that may help some people some of the time. Some people do not have the ability to make video calls. Please find other resources, services, and programs that may be helpful in an unsafe situation at home, the foundation states. So it turns out that this guy actually had her for way longer, right? She had been missing for way longer than just a couple of hours, like I would have anticipated, given the distance and whatnot between these places. She's been through 4 states with this guy, and that's a lot of time to travel in a car, so she had been missing for a minute, and this guy is a lunatic, a legitimate menace to society. Bro's just driving around the country kidnapping this girl and holding her hostage or whatever. Like, yeah, he needed to go, you know what I mean? And like I said, as much as I kind of dog on TikTok, as much as it is like kind of popular, I guess, to hate on TikTok a little bit, because let's get real here, a lot of cringy stuff happens on the platform. But it is situations like this that make it a lot better, right? That make you kind of take a different look at TikTok. And that's kind of what I guess the point of this video is. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that we can all criticize TikTok. There's still a lot of stupid trends. There's still a lot of dangerous trends and dumb things said and done. But this could have legitimately been the difference between life and death for a 16-year-old girl here, is using TikTok and learning these kinds of hand signals and gestures. I genuinely wonder what the odds of all of this kind of happening the way that it did were, right? Like, I feel like the odds had to have been something crazy on this. And I wonder if this is going to become like a legitimate thing that we start to kind of see over and over again, right? I mean, social media and the internet and everything, it's been doing really nothing but growing for the last decades or so now. So I wonder if here in even a few more decades, if we're going to see more cases like this where people are learning things through social media that they can use to save their lives like this. Like, for instance, I wonder if in the future we're going to see more cases of, like, teenage girls and boys who are being kidnapped using, I guess, tips that they found off of, like, TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or something to save their lives. And also, I wonder if this is going to lead to more people kind of recognizing, you know, these kinds of signals and situations like this, and possibly even saving more lives through things like that. Because you got to think, a lot of kids really do die because they get kidnapped and killed, right? So obviously a pretty good situation. I just wanted to cover this for you guys. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about TikTok saving this girl's life. and signing out.